Welcome to this lesson on handling complaints in technical work. In engineering and technical environments, machines, equipment, and systems are constantly used in workshops, factories, and service centers. Because of this, problems sometimes occur. When a user reports a problem related to equipment or systems, it is often communicated as a complaint. For technicians, complaints are not simply negative feedback. They are valuable sources of technical information that help identify faults, improve maintenance processes, and ensure workplace safety. In this lesson, we will learn how to identify the appropriate features and information required in both verbal and written complaints. Every complaint needs 5 essential elements: who reported the issue, the equipment involved, the time it occurred, the symptoms, and the operational impact. The first element is who reported the problem. Knowing the reporter allows technicians to follow up if more information is needed. The second element is the equipment or system involved. This could be a specific machine, device, or technical component. The third element is the time when the problem occurred. The exact time helps technicians understand when the failure happened during operation. The fourth element is the symptoms of the problem. Symptoms describe what was observed, such as unusual noise, overheating, or system errors. The fifth element is the operational impact. This explains how the problem affects operations, such as production delays or safety risks. These 5 elements are commonly used in maintenance documentation across many Malaysian industries. In a technical environment, complaints are critical diagnostic data. The goal is to communicate clearly to diagnose faults and maintain safety. Poor communication risks misdiagnosis and safety hazards. A good complaint must be clear and informative. It should help the technician understand what the problem is without confusion. First, the complaint should be specific. This means it clearly explains what happened, instead of using vague statements. Second, the complaint must be factual. It should describe what was observed, not guesses or assumptions. Third, it should use technical language when appropriate, especially when describing equipment behavior or system faults. Fourth, it should be complete. Important information such as time, equipment involved, and symptoms must be included. Finally, the complaint should be easy to understand. Whether spoken or written, the message must be clear so that technicians can respond quickly. These communication skills are important because technicians often work in teams where accurate information sharing is critical. Use precise language when describing problems, explaining time, and explaining the impact to ensure effective diagnostics. In many situations, a technician first receives a complaint verbally. For example, an operator might say that an air compressor in workshop B stopped working at 10:30 in the morning and the motor produces a loud grinding sound. Although this information is given verbally, the technician must convert it into a written report. The written record should include the time of the incident, the equipment involved, the symptoms observed, and the operational impact. This process ensures that the complaint is properly documented and can be reviewed later by maintenance teams. In real industrial environments, technicians are responsible for ensuring that these verbal reports are accurately recorded. To document complaints systematically, technicians often use a technical complaint form or fault report form. This form helps ensure that all important information is recorded consistently. Typically, the form contains several sections. The first section records the reporter's information, including their name and department. The second section records equipment details, such as the machine name, identification number, and location. The third section describes the problem and observed symptoms. The final section records the operational impact, such as whether production has stopped or if there is a safety risk. Using a structured form ensures that technicians collect all the necessary information needed for troubleshooting. Let us look at an example of a completed complaint form. In this example, the reporter is Ahmad Rahman from Mechanical Workshop B. The equipment involved is an air compressor with the identification number AC204. The complaint was reported on the 12th of March 2026 at 10:35 in the morning. The problem description explains that the compressor stopped suddenly during operation, and the observed symptom is a loud grinding noise from the motor. The operational impact is that workshop activities are delayed because pneumatic tools cannot be used. This example shows how clear and detailed information helps technicians understand the problem quickly. Now let us analyze the complaint from the previous slide. We can clearly identify the 5 essential elements. First, the person who reported the problem is Ahmad Rahman. Second, the equipment involved is the air compressor with ID AC204. Third, The time of the incident is recorded as 10:35 a.m. on the 12th of March 2026. Fourth, The symptoms include a loud grinding noise and the motor failing to start. Finally, the operational impact is that workshop operations are delayed. By including all these details, the complaint provides useful information for technicians to begin troubleshooting. Now let us examine a poorly written complaint. The complaint says, "The machine is bad. The machine stopped working yesterday." This complaint is unclear because it does not provide enough technical information. We do not know the exact machine involved, the specific time of failure, the symptoms of the problem, or the impact on operations. Without this information, technicians would have difficulty diagnosing the issue. This example shows why complaints must be specific, factual, and complete. For field diagnostic practice, read these two scenarios and identify the problem description, time of failure, equipment involved, and operational impact for each. Remember the 4 essential data points. In this knowledge check, Panel 1 asks for a complete complaint, Panel 2 for a clear technical symptom, and Panel 3 for useful operational impact information. Check your understanding against the correct answers. To summarize this lesson, a technical complaint must be specific, factual, technical, and complete. Technicians should always include 5 essential elements: who reported the problem, which equipment is involved, when the failure occurred, the symptoms observed, and the operational impact. Verbal complaints are useful for quick clarification and troubleshooting, but written complaints are necessary for proper documentation and maintenance tracking. Clear complaint communication allows technicians to diagnose faults more efficiently and maintain safe and reliable operations. These communication skills are essential for students preparing to enter Malaysia's technical and engineering workforce. Before we end this lesson, let us reflect on how this skill is applied in real technical workplaces. In industries such as manufacturing, automotive maintenance, and engineering services across Malaysia, technicians regularly deal with equipment faults and operational issues. When these problems occur, clear complaint reporting becomes essential. Accurate complaint information allows maintenance teams to identify equipment faults quickly, prevent safety risks, and minimize downtime in operations. It also ensures that proper maintenance records are kept for future reference. Throughout this lesson, we learned that every technical complaint should contain 5 essential elements: who reported the issue, which equipment is involved, when the failure occurred, what symptoms were observed, and what operational impact the problem caused. By communicating complaints clearly and professionally, technicians help ensure that problems are diagnosed and resolved efficiently. As future technicians and engineers in the Malaysian TVET ecosystem, mastering this communication skill will help you work more effectively in real industrial environments.